Unscripted. Today we have something a little special planned because Halloween is this weekend. Um,
Thursday. It's Thursday.
is it not considered Halloween weekend still?
Yeah, but Halloween itself is
This Thursday.
Thursday.
Same. Whatever. Anyways, because Halloween's coming up, we've decided to just talk about little local scary stories and scary encounters that we've had in our lives and just give a little horror action, I guess.
Yeah.
Horror action. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is a tangent. I know we're supposed to be like, ooh, scary. I know we're supposed to be doing that, but have you seen those TikToks that talk about how Midwestern people say the word horror?
Yes.
Horror.
We don't pronounce it correctly. Horror.
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 I want to watch
I
a
can't.
horror movie.
Horror movie. We
But
just say horror.
yeah,
We don't say horror. We say horror.
yeah. 'Cause I just did that and I was like, oop.
Oops.
Anyways, I can't not. That's just the way I
I
talk.
know.
Same thing with both.
Both.
It's
Or
supposed
oil. Oil.
oil,
I don't say oil. I say oil.
oil.
My mom says worsh.
Worse.
I
There's
can't
just
stand that.
I
She goes
can't.
worsh cloth. I can't.
Yeah, I say wash. But like both, it's supposed to be both.
Both.
But I say both, like you add a
Yeah.
L. I don't know why I do that. Anyways,
Anyways, back
we've
to
already like gone
we've
off
already
with a
gone off
completely
topic.
different thing. Okay, Chance, you want to start us off with the first
I can.
scary story?
So this is this is real. This happened in the late 80s, 90s of the Blue House on Franklin Street. And I don't know if it's still standing, and I also didn't know about this until I was gathering scary stories about Evansville for this episode. I had no clue about this. This is kind of a big deal. So, basically, like, I don't know if it was all of like the Midwest or just Evansville or just Indiana or the whole United States. The like late 80s and early 90s was known as the Satanic Panic.
Here in Evansville?
Yeah.
Oh,
Um
I never knew that.
I didn't either.
You know what? It's probably that, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Stranger Things. 'Cause didn't they have that also? Well,
Yeah. That's in Indiana. Stranger Things is based in Indiana. In southern
OMG.
Indiana.
Y'all just witnessed like my neurons like
Stranger Things
connecting
is
and everything.
literally based in southern Indiana.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds a lot like Stranger Things, doesn't it? No dip.
No dip.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I'm such an idiot. Oh,
Anyways,
sorry, please continue.
so it was this blue house on Franklin Street. I don't know like where at specifically.
This blue house on Franklin
I
Street?
don't think they would be selling it anymore.
You never know. They do stuff like that.
Okay, well, basically, and you can like, there's a video on Facebook that of like people being interviewed about this, but it was this house where these quote school officials would take kids out of school, and the kids thought that they were school officials. They were just people, just randos, I guess. But they would take kids out of school, bring them to this house, and use them in satanic rituals.
Oh, that's not good.
There was like, it was pretty bad stuff. It was like a lot of sexual abuse, animal sacrifice, and human sacrifice happening in that house. And like multiple kids like said stuff to like their teachers and to the police, and the police like, not that they didn't do anything, they tried to get a search warrant and they couldn't. But eventually, I guess the people who own the house were like, okay, you can look. But they had cleaned up everything, obviously, beforehand.
Mm.
And so whenever the police went in there, they didn't really find anything that was incriminating. So the kids never got justice. But I literally had no clue that that was happening.
Yeah, neither did I. Didn't know
I mean,
that.
we weren't alive, but I didn't know that it happened at all.
Yeah, I don't know. This says that the whole Eddie Munson thing was based on a real person, but it wasn't like in Evansville.
Really?
Real life tragedy that inspired Eddie Munson. Examining satanic panic in Stranger Things. This says, um, obviously obviously a lot of older people. Sorry, I wasn't sitting close enough to the mic. I'm working on it. Sorry. Anyways, it says a lot of people, obviously throughout the 80s and 90s, like the older generations kind of were scared of the younger generations because
Mhm.
metal music was
Yeah.
becoming really popular and like rock music was becoming really popular. And I don't know why, but the older generation, they just immediately assumed that that was satanic. All the heavy rock music.
A lot of people still think that way for some reason.
True. I mean, some of them are kind of weird.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's this one band and I can't think of their name, but the lead singer had killed himself and one of the other band members like walked in on his dead body and used the photo of his dead body as one of their album covers.
Oh, I remember that.
But I can't remember the name of the band.
I keep thinking Kurt Cobain, but
It's not Kurt
that's
Cobain.
not Kurt Cobain.
Hang on, let me find it.
I know what you're talking about though. I don't know why. It's not Kurt Cobain.
No.
This is
Oh, it was a Norwegian band. I think it was Mayhem. It was
is
Mayhem.
the picture up still?
Yeah, you can find the picture. It's really gross.
What is that the Mayhem's album cover? This doesn't
I don't know if it'll let you see it on.
Ew.
Yeah, that.
Or I don't see the picture, but I'm seeing that it's like
Oh no, do you want to see the picture? It's kind of gross and
yeah, let me
graphic.
see.
Cause he took an axe to his head
Did he really?
and he like took an axe to his head and then shot himself.
Oh.
It's not the worst. I mean, it's awful, but it's like I don't know. You would think it was fake looking at
It
it.
looks fake.
It looks fake, but it's real.
Yeah. I guess Terrifier movies kind of set us up for that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, there are obviously some bands that do make scary
Yeah.
stuff
I
like
mean,
that,
probably.
but the majority like
People think that's it's kind of an ongoing joke that a lot of people think 21 Pilots is satanic.
really.
Yes. But they make like a lot of biblical references in their music, so it's really funny that people think that they're satanic.
Mhm.
I don't even know why, but it's fine.
Mhm. I'm trying to come up with like specific. I think a lot of people thought that Kiss was satanic.
Mhm.
Which I mean, Gene Simmons did call himself like the demon, but it was just like a character. I think.
Yeah, it's just straight stage presence. I
Mhm.
can't talk. Stage presence.
Oh, did you know about when Ozzy Osbourne he bit that bat?
I have heard about that, yeah.
Like I think he thought it was a toy. Somebody threw like a real bat up on the
Ew.
stage while he was performing and he thought it was a toy, so he like bit its head off.
That's disgusting.
And he thought it was just gonna be like rubber,
Yeah.
be fake, but it like fully like busted in his mouth and like there's blood. And
That's
he was just
disgusting.
on the stage with like bat blood and a bat like carcass.
That reminded me that band Mayhem, they would like harm themselves on stage in front of everyone. It was weird.
Um, let's hope they got shut down. Do you think their music is any good? Have you heard any of their songs?
Let me go on Spotify. You won't be able to hear through the microphone, but we'll give you a review, even though you guys aren't going to be able to hear it.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand how you found that album cover so quick. Mayhem album cover.
You literally just look up Mayhem at album cover. Freezing Moon. Let's see. Let's listen to this a little bit. Maybe you will be able to hear it. It is metal music. So far, it just sounds like Metallica.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But
sound bad.
knowing like what they did,
Well,
it's
let's
kind of
try and get
making
to
me
some
not want.
vocals.
If I was the friend, I'd be rolling in my grave if I knew that they posted that picture.
Oh. Ew!
Ew, ew, turn it off,
Ew,
turn it
ew.
off, turn it off, turn it off.
It's disgusting!
Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Oh my gosh. Lord be with us, please.
Ew! That's
Prayer
disgusting.
protection around this podcast episode.
That is
That is
disgusting!
so. Oh my gosh, dude.
Anyways, if you guys want to listen to Mayhem,
No, would never play that again. What? How would you feel if you were?
if I did that to myself and then my friend took a picture, you know what? I don't know. I feel like they were so cynical that he was probably like, he would be okay with it. Now, the other band members thought it was weird and they were like, we're breaking up the band.
Yeah.
But I feel like if that guy, like, 'cause he would harm himself on stage, I feel like he was probably that
I
twisted,
that
I
messed
guess.
up in the head to think
Yeah.
that it was cool. I don't know.
Ew, that song
Yeah,
is.
let's ew, ew, ew. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on.
Okay. Do you want to do a story?
Sure, I'll do a story. Now this one's on Reddit
I
and
love me a good Reddit.
same. You know what we should do? We should do the Am I the Soul
Yeah,
one day and
we'll
like
do that.
do our opinions. Maybe next time, next podcast episode. I'm on Reddit. This one, I don't know if it's really reliable or not, but I'm going to read it anyway. It's about the AMC theater on the west side. This person is saying, rumor has it, well, they start off by saying the AMC on the west side is haunted, specifically Theater 12, but the whole right side of the theater has bad vibes.
Hang on, quick little fact about the AMC theater. It was not. It's always been a theater, but it was originally owned by like a big Hollywood production studio back in like you know how in the 50s like Warner Brothers and like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they would place theaters in big cities. In Evansville's a big city, like it's been historically it's always been a big city. That was one that was owned by a big Hollywood production. I don't know which one. I'll try and figure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This says, rumor was a little girl fell from the balcony seats and died back when it was Carasotes? Carasotes? What's Carasotes?
That's the name of it, but I don't know who owned it.
Carasotes. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading. All I know is when I worked there, I had a few experiences in there, and I'm not a particularly ghosty person. Theater 12 was the only theater that, when I was sleeping in the theater, I would feel like something was under the seats planning on grabbing my legs. A different time, some
Ew,
ushers. What?
that's the thinking about that.
Yeah. I mean, that's so real, though.
Do you do that thing? I do that whenever I get off my bed. I'm like, something's gonna grab my legs.
I don't do that for my bed, but I do that when I get out of the car
Yes.
at
Have
nighttime.
you heard about the people like
Getting there,
slicing your Achilles?
yeah. I mean, my car's pretty low to the ground, so you'd have to be one skinny motherfucker to get under
Mine's
there.
not that close to the ground. You
I
could get
think yours is pretty close to the ground.
you could get under it though.
I don't think again, you'd have to be pretty skinny to go under your car. It's pretty low to the ground, but I still do it anyways, even though it's like super low to the ground.
Yeah.
I still be like leaping
Mhm.
away from the bottom of my car because I'm
Yeah.
terrified someone's gonna grab me, especially at nighttime.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry to interrupt.
you're okay. A different time, some ushers were waiting around for Sherlock Holmes to end, and while we were waiting, the heavy doors to the theater just straight up opened and then closed right in front of us. And lastly, I was cleaning Theater 12 all alone on some weekday night, and I went in for the final sweep. Back when there were armchairs, it was our duty to put them all up, and a few in the middle were down. I walked over, put them up with my broom, and hurried down the stairs because I had that leg grabby feeling. Me too. I was about to walk out when I heard a few thuds. I turn around and the armchairs are back down. Weird but not impossible because if you put them up too fast, they bounce back. I went back, softly put them up, and went back down the stairs. As I was walking, I heard a ton of armchairs fall, and when I got to the bottom, I, in parentheses, I said I ran down those stairs. The whole row was down. That was the last time I cleaned that theater alone.
Ew.
Yeah, I would have moved jobs.
That's terrifying. I've never. I think I've been inside the AMC once, and I don't remember. Oh wait, maybe twice. I think I went there whenever I was little for whatever movie. I don't remember. And then I saw the BTS movie there.
Yeah, whenever I lived on the west side, that's the theater we went to all the time. But I never had any like weird experiences in the theater. None that I remember anyways.
Yeah.
So,
This is another one that I didn't know about. I couldn't tell you where this place is. I know it exists still. It hasn't been torn down. But the old Carpenter house.
I don't
Couldn't
know
tell
what
you where
that
it
is.
is. I'll just read this little article thing about it. Okay. Oh wait, it's where WNIN used to be.
I don't know what that is.
The radio station
Oh,
WNIN.
that makes sense. I still
I have heard of this then. I remember they moved because a lot of stuff was happening to their equipment. I think well that was part of it. I think they needed more space and stuff.
yeah.
Okay. The previous house of WNIN and the past home of Evansville philanthropist Willard Carpenter often has been thought to be on haunted grounds. Carpenter, perhaps best known for building and endowing the Willard Library,
Oh.
ooh, lived at the residence until his death in 1883. Sorry. The building, completed in 1849, is still one of the most. Oh, wait, hang on. Is still one of the finest examples of Georgian architecture in the area. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It's
Are you
made of
talking
limestone.
wait,
It's made of limestone.
what?
Limestone is a good conductor for, well, it's said to be a good conductor for like spiritual energy.
I thought you were gonna say electricity. I was like, okay, what does that gotta do with Are you wait, I'm sorry, I've zoned. Are you talking about the Willard Library or are you talking about
The
the
Carpenter House.
Carpenter House?
Yeah. But I guess he owned the Willard Library too.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. After the Great Depression hit, the family was forced to give up their home to the Funkhauser American Legion Post. What
Silly
kind of
name.
name is that?
Yeah.
For $3,500. That's how much they bought that house for. It's a mansion, by the way.
I know. I could buy that right now.
I couldn't, but give me a couple weeks.
With the money in my savings, I could buy it right now. But not my checking, girl. Not the checking.
In 1956, the Legion sold the property to WTVW TV7. Okay. Who had no use for the mansion and reluctantly announced their plans for demolition. However, in 1974, Medco Centers purchased the location to serve as its headquarters, and then later on, WNIN moved into the property in 1985 up until 2017. Okay. Today, stories of Depression era spirits and mysterious ghosts linger around the home. In October 2010, the Newburgh based Southern Indiana paranormal investigators completed a 3-day investigation of the house after an employee spotted two women in 1800s garb on an elevator. If I saw that,
You'd see dust flying behind me.
I probably wouldn't move. I probably would be too scared to move.
That's true. That's what I always say. Like, I'd run, I'd immediately run. But then every time I'm in a scary situation, I do freeze like a
Yeah,
deer in
we like
headlights.
tense up and we're like,
Uh, uh.
like every time that light in the hallway turns off, we go.
Yeah.
um, Billy Miller, the founder of the group, heard moans, groans, and footsteps during the during the night. And in the men's bathroom on the second floor, he claimed to hear the toilet seat slam. That's me as a ghost. But yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff. Actually, on that Reddit thread, they talk about it. Let me see if I can find it.
Really?
Somewhere on here.
Carpenter House, Carpenter House. I don't.
I thought I saw. Anyways, I saw somewhere something about the Carpenter House, but I've heard like I asked my mom about it the other day, and she was like, "Yeah, it's pretty creepy."
Um, I was reading about one earlier about a teacher back in the 70s that got stabbed to death in front of the old courthouse.
Wasn't it in the catacombs, in the basement?
Um, Shoot, hold on. What's it say? Oh, I have the article pulled up. It says it's one of Evansville's most notorious unsolved murder cases. 27-year-old Anne Klein was stabbed to death in the catacombs of the old Vanderburgh County Courthouse on January 18th, 1973. To this day, no arrests have been made in the case that left an entire city shaken. Um, what was she doing in the catacombs?
I don't know. That had to have been back whenever it was actually used as a courthouse.
Probably. It says she was a teacher. She was working as a teacher. Hold on. Blah, 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 oh wait. Fast forward to mid-January where Klein's classes were moved to the courthouse due to a fire at the college. Just after 3 p.m. on January 18th, a student at the college who also worked as a custodian at the
Wait,
court.
what college?
I don't know.
UE? How long ago was
Wait,
this?
wait,
'Cause
wait.
UE's pretty old.
The pair lived in Newburgh and Anne worked at an Evansville Business School Lockyer College.
Oh no, okay.
So not UE, I guess. Okay, so the student worked as a custodian in the courthouse. Um, he was checking in on the professor and the girl who got stabbed to death, who was supposedly grading papers. After discovering Klein had yet to grade his paper, he and another person would head up to the second floor, according to the police. 10 minutes later or so, they think they hear screaming. Police say when the pair went back downstairs, they'd find Klein stabbed to death in the catacombs of the courthouse.
That's crazy.
It's been an open case for over 51 years without an arrest. That sucks. She was stabbed 19 times in the chest.
We've been down there
Yeah.
where she's like, what?
Ooh, it says she was not only stabbed 19 times in the chest, but she was stabbed so like horrifically that it literally severed her aorta in her heart.
Ew. That's crazy.
Ugh. Yeah, we've been down there
I've been down there like 10 different
a bunch
times
of times for
for
the
the
yeah,
the haunted house.
the haunted houses.
That's crazy to think about. I hear stuff all the time about that place being haunted.
It probably is cuz it used to be an
Yeah.
old jail too.
Yeah. That catacombs era was the old jail, I believe.
Yeah.
That's weird to think of. Like we could have walked over like where she died.
We probably did.
That's
That's
crazy.
yeah. What's the next story you have?
Well, sorry.
Am I boring you? I'm just kidding. I hate when people say that.
Funny. Okay. If you're from Evansville, you've probably heard of Willard's Library. Not everyone believes in it. Ghost Adventures went there, but
Yeah, what's his face himself? What's
yeah.
his name?
Um,
I keep thinking it starts
Zach something, right?
Zach Bryan. I'm just
No.
kidding. No. What's it called? It's not Adventure Time. Ghost Adventures. Adventures. It's Zach something.
I think it is Zach.
Zach Bagans leads his team of co-investigators at haunted locations in America and abroad. Yeah, I don't know when he went to Willard, but he did, but they didn't find
Yeah,
anything.
they didn't get a lot of evidence. But is it's like they go looking for like evil stuff. The Gray Lady is known to be like a nice,
Just a little prankster, I guess.
yeah, sort of like she's known to knock books off the shelves.
Yeah. Or like move stuff around, open
Yeah.
doors and stuff. I don't know. When my dad and I took a ghost tour a few years back, and my dad, like, he took a picture of something, and it had like a figure or like an orb or something, and he was going to submit it somewhere, but it like mysteriously got deleted off of his phone, and
Mhm.
he doesn't know how it got deleted.
I used to go there when I was little a lot. We would like we it was like the library that we used.
Yeah.
Um, but I would go there a lot and I would leave notes for her.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice. I bet you the staff probably found them and was like, "Oh."
Yeah. Well, I would like go up to the staff and be like, "Can you give this to her?" Because I thought
Oh.
I thought it was like she's hanging out in the back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
They
remember
probably
doing that.
thought that was sweet.
Either that or they probably thought like you need to get this kid checked out first.
Yeah.
Like,
Creepy little kid. Yeah, I whenever I went to Willard as a kid, I would like obviously they'd want me to go down the basement where the kids section was.
that's where she said to like be.
I know. My dad told me that one day, and it completely ruined the basement for me. Like I
Well,
never wanted to go down
I
there.
believe she actually passed away in the library, did she not?
Well, I thought nobody knows who she was.
Well, she's said to be Louise Carpenter, which is Willard,
The
the
guy's
carpenter guy's
daughter.
daughter, I guess. Um, I didn't even that connection is wild to me. I didn't even like I didn't know about the Carpenter house. Um, I remember being told when I was little there was a bathroom that they eventually like closed off and like turned like they demolished it or whatever that she died in. I That's what I was told when I was little. I don't know if that's
What's her
true.
last name? Carpenter?
Carpenter.
Carpenter Die Evans. She had a stroke in 1883.
I guess.
Or wait, maybe that's her dad.
Her dad, yeah, her dad had a stroke. I know that.
I don't know.
That was 2 years before the library opened, but then she continued to work at the library after he had died.
This says that she got mad because she wanted the inheritance,
Yeah.
but she lost and the library continued to grow and then she ended up dying.
I'm surprised if she was mad. I'm surprised that her ghost isn't known to be angry.
I know. It says the Grey Lady is rumored to be Louise Carpenter, the daughter of the library's founder, haunting it out of resentment that it received most of her father's inheritance money.
Huh.
But like, why wouldn't she be like absolutely terrifying,
Yeah.
like
If
terrorizing
I
people?
was her, I'd probably be an angry ghost.
Well, maybe just over the years she's been like, you know what, this library's done
True.
good stuff for people. I'll just, chill here, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, she's said to like be in the children's part in the basement, and that she'll sit in the chairs on the stairs and like go up and down them and like push books off the shelves, and she's been known to touch hair and earrings on females.
Yeah. I remember going there as a kid and it was so cold down there and I was just like, nope, 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 nope.
Mhm.
And I'd like dart back up the stairs. I wouldn't want to go down there. I'd like be holding my dad's hand the whole time, picking out a book. Junie B. Jones was my jam. I'd go rent Junie B. Jones books and
I don't remember what I would get from there, to be honest.
little things. Anyway, yeah. Gray Lady's a really famous Evansville legend, but I don't really know if it's true. Especially since Ghost Adventures went there and they didn't find anything. Maybe she was just being quiet though.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
think it. I think it stands to reason that the place could very well be haunted. I'm surprised it's not haunted by that Willard guy. If he was in the middle of building it, it was like it's like because he was a carpenter, so like that's what he dedicated his life to. And as he was in the middle of building it, he died.
Yeah, but maybe he, you know that saying that like ghosts, the only reason ghosts stay around is because they have unfinished business.
Yeah,
Maybe, you know, even though he didn't finish building it, he liked the fact that he had like a plan and he was like, oh, I feel fulfilled in life because I'm contributing this library.
that's true.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anything about. I'm not Zach Corbin. What's his name?
Corbin. um,
Zach.
I don't know. I
Shoot, I already
forgot
forgot.
already.
Zach.
I keep thinking Bobinski. It's not Bobinski. It's a B name, I think.
Zach. This is Ghostbusters. I was like, what? Ghost Adventures. Please tell me about the host. Blah 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 blah. Zach Bagans. What did I say?
Bagans.
Corbin.
Yeah, you said like Gordon. I said Bobinski.
Are you gonna talk about the green clawed beast?
I was looking up urban legends around Evansville, and apparently there's this green clawed beast. And like the story that went along with it, I don't know if it's made up or not.
It probably is.
Probably.
It's probably giving Loch Ness monster.
But it was, yeah, it was like this woman was like, they were, first of all, they were in the Ohio River in the story that I read. Who gets in the Ohio
Were
River?
they swimming in it?
Yeah,
They aren't even allowed. I don't think people are even allowed to do that.
not anymore. I'm sure at one point they were.
Do you know what, like, around what year this would have
No.
occurred? Okay.
Um, but yeah, it was basically just like they saw, like they felt the hair of the arm on their legs and stuff. I don't know. It was
Probably like
stupid.
seaweed or something.
It was stupid.
Just okay. Does seaweed grow in rivers?
Um,
Where does seaweed occur? Does seaweed occur in rivers? It probably does.
I don't think it would be called seaweed.
Riverweed? Oh, no. It doesn't. Seaweed is typically it does not occur in rivers. It primarily grows in the ocean as it refers to marine algae. Well, there's probably some other algae? Algae, I mean.
Oh god.
Algae. We probably yeah, certain types of algae, which can sometimes be called freshwater seaweed, can grow in rivers. So she probably just touched some of that.
Yeah, it was a little stupid story that I read.
Yeah, I get it though. You want to talk about like any personal scary stories that we have?
Yeah, before that, this person on Reddit, which Reddit's silly that we're like relying on Reddit, but it's okay.
I bet you some other podcasts have even worse sourcing.
Probably.
So,
Um, Someone said apparently somewhere there's a wooded area in Evansville that has a stump that is completely stained in blood. They say witches and satanic worshippers go there and sacrifice small animals. And they said that they've heard this from multiple people. And you know what? I would not be surprised if that
I
was
don't.
true.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stay away from that.
Yeah.
You will not catch me investigating.
No. The thinking about going into the woods at night.
Ugh. No. You know that question that's like, if you were, you know, if you were dropped off in the middle of somewhere in the middle of the night, where would you want to be? Like,
Where I don't
or where would be like the scariest place?
this
Like, where would you not want to be dropped off
well,
at in the
imagine
middle of
like
the
a
night?
cornfield,
I know.
like where the corn's completely grown up.
I A lot of people said the woods, which I
Yeah.
agree, but I was also thinking ocean. Like if I was in the
On
middle
the
of the
like in
ocean
the
at
middle of
night,
the ocean, yeah. At that point, I'd just go into the ocean and wait for a shark to eat me.
I don't know. I honestly would rather take my chances in the cornfield at night than in the ocean at night.
The cornfield at night is just because it's like, what if because there's so many movies of like serial killers chasing people in cornfields.
Children of the Corn. Have you ever seen
Oh
that
my
movie?
god.
That movie scared the crap out of me as a kid. I don't even remember what that was about, but I just remember it was scary. Have you seen it?
No, but like just you saying Children of the Corn.
It was called Children of the Corn. My mom, oh my gosh. My mom, when I grew up, she always had me watching scary movies. I don't know. She thought it was so funny because I'd just be sitting there like in the corner all scared and she'd laugh at me. Every time I got scared, she'd laugh at me. But, she was not abusive. I promise. She did not abuse me psychologically. I guess it was just that thing where, you kind of pick
Well,
funny.
she was a fan of horror movies,
Yeah,
wasn't
my
she?
mom loved horror movies.
Yeah.
And, she wanted me to like them. Some of them I did, but others I was like, Mom, what are you doing? Like, I didn't want to watch
Yeah.
them. Children of the Corn, I don't remember what it was about, but I just remember it's because I lived right next door to a cornfield. I lived on the west
Mhm.
side, like in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of a cornfield, and my mom had the audacity to show me Children of the Corn.
I the first house I lived in, there was a cornfield across like the little dirt road that was in front of our house. And I remember one time I walked, it was during the winter, so there wasn't any corn. It was it wasn't soybeans yet, but it was like when the corn was all cut down. And I go outside and there's a man standing in the cornfield. And he sees me, and so he comes over. And I thought it was my dad, so I'm like waving at him.
Oh my gosh.
And then as he's getting closer, I recognize that it's not my dad, and I ran inside to like find my dad, and I couldn't find my dad anywhere. And then eventually I found my dad, but like the man
Yeah.
like knocked on the door and stuff. It's scary, dude. I was because it was only me
Really?
and my dad.
Oh my gosh, dude, I would have literally
A
crapped
lot of
myself.
like, oh my god, that house is scary. I'll talk about that house. I've like had a few scary
Mhm.
things. But another time I opened the door to a man because I thought it was my dad coming home. My dad he worked for EPD, and he would work the second or the third
Night
shift,
shift?
overnight shift. And so, but sometimes he would like come home before and like eat dinner.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay,
Were you just at home by yourself?
no, I was like 6 when this happened.
Oh, okay.
Um, so my mom was cooking in the kitchen and I hear the doorbell ring, so I go and answer it, and it's, I kid you not, a man in all black and he had a gun in his hand.
No way.
Yeah.
What did you do? Just
Well, my
shut the
mom,
door?
well, my mom like heard and like rushed over. I think he had a gun in his. I remember my mom being like, "That man had a gun," but I was like thinking it was the milkman or something. I don't know what I was thinking.
Milkman.
The milkman. um. So yeah, that was that. I don't remember anything that happened after that.
Have you ever had have you ever blah, 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 blah. Sorry, anyway. Can you cut that part out of me going blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah? Okay, thanks. The second time too, can you get that part? Thanks. Have you ever almost been kidnapped before?
Not that I know of. I would roam away from my parents a lot whenever we would
Mhm.
like go shopping, and they would just like to learn my lesson. They would leave me
Yeah.
on purpose and then come back. And like, cause I would be like go looking for them.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if I ever was like gonna get kidnapped.
Yeah, I think I almost did 2 times. The first one, I was at this, like, reunion thing. It was, like, I don't know if it was by, what's it called? With the pool, Burdette?
Oh yeah.
Like, you know how they have, like, little places in the woods, like little cabins or something that you can, like, go and have little parties or
Hmm.
get-togethers with? we were up there for like a family reunion of some type,
Mhm.
and obviously I don't remember how old I was, but I was like relatively young, and I had like my headphones because I didn't know these people. I
Yeah.
know they were they were gonna be a family reunion, but I didn't know a lot of them personally. I literally
Mhm.
only knew my dad and like my aunt or whatever. So I brought my phone and I had my headphones and I was just gonna like sit in the
How old
corner.
were you?
I don't remember. I was young though.
Okay.
I think no younger than like it was after definitely after 2013 because my mom was
Mhm.
had passed. If you, I just revealed that to the audience.
You just dropped some lore.
Yeah, my mom passed away when I was 8 in 2013, and it was after it was just me and my dad at the reunion. It was
Uh-huh.
after she'd passed away. So maybe like between the ages of 10 and like 13 maybe.
Mhm.
Um I was just planning on watching a movie in the corner
Mhm.
by myself, which I didn't mind, you know. But I left my headphones. I we went in and I was like, "Shoot, I left my headphones in the car."
Mhm.
And so my dad just gave me the key of the car and he's like, "Okay, go and you know, go
Go
get your
get
headphones
them.
and come back." Obviously, of course, he parked in the very back. Like very very back, so I had to do some trekking. So I walk to the car, I open it, I'm like bent over digging around cuz like I had this habit of putting them under the seat. You know, my parents always taught me to put valuables under the seat so nobody could like peer in and be like, "Ooh, a purse,
Yeah.
headphones," like smash in and grab them. So I was digging around in the back under the seat and I stand up. Oh my gosh, it like still scares me to this day. I stand up and there's a man on the other side of the
Ew.
door. So
Like
I'm
just looking at you?
just looking at me like he was looking at me through the glass. Like I was on the side where it was open and then the door was here and then he was here and he was looking at me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say.
Uh-huh.
And so I just had my headphones and I was like, OMG. Like in my head I was like, who is this? I didn't I
Did you
fully
run?
no. I shut the door.
You got in the car.
No.
Okay.
I was like stupid what I did. But I shut the door and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to engage. I'm gonna pretend like I don't see
You
him.
just walked away normally?
So I shut the door, locked it, started walking.
Ew.
I literally just started
You
walking.
put your back to that man.
Yeah, I know I was stupid. So I started walking and he follows me
Oh my
and he
god.
starts talking to me and I'm like, it was scary, Chance. It was
What
like
did he
really scary.
say?
He was like, "Hey, I know you. I know you. Hey." Um, and I was like, in my head, I was like, I don't know you. I'm getting back to this family reunion real fast.
How about no?
Hey, how about no? I love Austin Powers. Such a good quote. Anyways, I keep walking and he was like, "Hey, where are you going? Where are you going?" Um, you know, your dad wanted me to come say hi to you, which he literally if he would have said my mom, I would have started booking it because she
Yeah.
was dead. But, him saying my dad made me kind of be like, okay, maybe he does really know me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so I keep walking and I'm like, hey. So I say hi and I just keep walking and I'm like power walking because obviously I'm uncomfortable. I don't know this guy. And I'm in the middle of the woods
Yeah.
and I parked all the way in the back. Or well, my dad did, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean. And I keep walking and then he says something that immediately put my alarm on like red alert, and I started running. Like
Yeah.
I started actually running away from him. He was like, my your dad wanted me to make sure you were okay. Come on, let's go. Like I'll bring it back to you. He pointed in the complete opposite direction of where my dad was.
Ugh.
Like instead of
What did he
pointing,
look like?
I don't know. He was like he had glasses and darker hair, I think. Kind of chubby guy.
Ugh. This.
I know. You know that guy from Toy Story that's like the toy maker or whatever?
Mhm.
He kind of looked like him. But maybe a little skinnier and had a little bit more hair on the top, you know? But he pointed more like back towards the woods
Mhm.
and not towards where the reunion was happening.
Mhm.
So that's where I was like, my dad did not send you. I don't know you. And so I just booked it and I left him in the dust. And then whenever I ran back in there and then I looked out the window and he was gone.
That's gross.
I know. It was really scary.
That reminds me. I don't know what I'm not gonna say like I was almost kidnapped, but I was going on a trip with the Girl Scout troop that I used to be in, and we were in a cabin in the Smoky Mountains.
It
Like,
always happens, like, in a cabin in the woods.
I know, but we were all just. It was like late at night. I think it was our like second or third night there, and we're like playing games in the game room, and we see a car drive by, and but it's like pretty late at night, but they drove by real slow, and so, the troop leader, um, she goes, that's weird, and then they do it again, but this time they parked, and a group of guys got out of the car,
Oh my gosh.
and they kept like circling the cabin and like looking in the windows, like we had to go hide. It was weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. That stuff is so scary. I also, the reason why I don't really like clowns, and that's because of, I low key developed a fear of clowns because of an encounter I had circa 2016 clown frenzy.
Yeah.
Again, you guessed it, it was in the middle of the woods. It was Halloween weekend. It was during middle school. Me and my friends went to Lake Rudolph for Halloween, and it was quite literally worst case scenario. Um I think he was pranking me, but also he was literally so dedicated to the bit that I don't know if he was like
Mhm.
faking or not. But me and my friends were walking around at night. It was Halloween night, so everybody was trick or treating, and a lot of people were out. Somehow though, in the middle of walking around in the woods, I got separated from my two friends. Um I know, stupid. Anyways, I get separated and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll call them." Guess what? My phone was on 1%.
Oh my
I
gosh.
couldn't call them. I was stuck in the middle of the woods and I was like, this is how I die. This is it. I'm going to get lost in the middle of the woods." I start like at least trying to walk. I was trying to retrace my steps and I was like, "Okay, let me just find a trail. As long as I find a trail, maybe I can like go from there."
Mhm.
I'm walking, all of a sudden, stereotypical, you hear a twig snap or like a crunch behind you. I turn around. This guy decked out in a full clown costume with an axe. It was a real axe, Chance. I'm not kidding. And he was like dragging it on the ground. And he had a clown mask that was like, it lit up around the
Yeah.
eyes. And he just stood there. Like, as soon as I turned around and I saw him, he stopped. And I kid you not, we just stared at each other for a solid. I did that freeze thing where I just kind of stared at him for a good
Mhm.
30 seconds, a minute. And I start panicking, obviously. Also, I'm not wearing proper shoes. I'm wearing Nike slides. I'm not kidding. Like, worst case scenario. So I knew that if I started booking it, he'd catch up to me immediately.
Yeah.
So it's kind of embarrassing what I do. I start like talking to him and bargaining with him. I'm like, "Please, please leave me alone. Please, I'll give you whatever you want. Just leave me alone, please." And he kept like doing the weird like dragging the axe around the ground and he picked it up.
Yeah.
He picked it up and he hit a stump with it.
And yeah, that's how you knew it was real?
Yeah. And it
That's
like
crazy.
yeah, I know, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude." I didn't know what to do. And I kept like saying, "Hey, I'll give you my Reese's cups," because had
I'll
just
give
went
you
trick
my
or
Reese's
treating.
cups.
"I'll give you my Reese's cups. Please leave me alone." He didn't, obviously. And at that point, I was like, "I'm just gonna have to make a run for it. I'm just gonna have to run."
Yeah.
So that's why I turned around and I ran as fast as I could, and he chased me. And I could hear like the axe like dragging through the leaves and stuff. And eventually, though, I don't know, to be honest, I don't know if it was like a trauma response or what, but I do not remember what happened after that. I just remember running and running and running until
Mhm.
eventually I made it to like the little office area or like where some campers were.
Mhm.
And that's where more people were around trick or
Mhm.
treating. And that's why I was like, "Oh, thank God." I don't know if he like eventually turned back around and went back into the woods or what, but I lost him and I didn't see him again.
That's crazy.
I know. It was really scary.
Yeah, I don't think I have any other than the mysterious men showing up at my old house. I don't have any weird stories like that. However, at that same house, I have some paranormal
Really?
stories.
Oh my gosh.
Um, it was an old house. It was built in the 70s. And on the second floor there was a balcony inside the house that looked down into the living room on the first floor. But there was like I don't know how to explain it. It looked like a bracket, sort of. Like you could sit on each side. And we had my great grandma's rocking chair on one side. But and I don't like I have no recollection of this. My mom, I was probably about 12, and she goes, by the way, like I don't know what spawned this conversation. She goes, "By the way, Sandy, which was my old babysitter, she uh she told us that you used to sit up there in Grammy's old rocking chair and talk to someone who wasn't there." And I would do it every night.
Oh my gosh.
Every night. I have no recollection of that. I do, however, have recollection of so in front of that rocking chair there's a window into the one of the rooms. That was my first room, but then I moved rooms where my brother's room was whenever he stayed there. And there was a window out onto that inside of the balcony thing. It wasn't like an outdoor balcony, it was inside. And there was a window there too. And I remember and anyone who like completely doesn't believe in ghosts is I sound crazy, but I remember seeing a man outside on that part of the balcony. And like pretty frequently cuz I remember like the first time I ever like saw that, I like went out and I was like, "Dad, there's like someone in the house."
Yeah.
And but I like continued to see it. I don't know. It was weird. It was like an old guy, like all torn
Yeah.
up,
Torn up.
like his clothes and like
Oh, oh.
his legs were like all cut off and stuff.
Oh,
That's what I remember. And then he'd like circle around the window.
ew.
Yeah.
Ugh. That's so creepy. Yeah, the only like scary things, like paranormal-esque things that happen in my house are like creaking or like doors will open.
Yeah, your house isn't that creepy.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I get just because I'm like sort of scared of the dark at my old age. I get like at night I'll get a little creepy like I have to have a light at your house, but I have to have that at my house too.
Yeah.
Oh my
You ever-
gosh. At um my dad's house. It's not the same house that I was just talking about, but that whenever we moved in there, I started sleepwalking.
Ugh, really?
Yeah, that like I had never sleptwalked before. I had like talked in my sleep and like I would move around, but I had never sleptwalked before. And he apparently I would like play the piano.
What?
I can't play piano.
Ugh.
But I remember that house sort of like I didn't like being alone in it because it sort of freaked me out. But I get freaked out by everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember one time I heard my voice get whispered in the hallway outside of my room.
Ugh.
One of my toys, I don't remember what it's called. It's like it's the shape of like a man and then it's dry erase so you can like draw faces and outfits on it. But it's real heavy and it's like if it gets knocked over, it's gonna stay down.
Mhm.
But and so I put it on top of the shelf and it's like it's very like head heavy. So like it's not gonna bounce back up if it falls
Yeah.
and like stand up. Um, I walk down in the basement and it sure as hell is on the ground, a couple feet away from the shelf, standing straight up.
Yeah. I mean, it could have just been one of those like gravity defying moments where it just landed right if it
I
fell.
guess so. But every time I tried, it wouldn't land like that. I don't know.
I don't know either. I do remember though, like back to my house thing. I do remember every time we'd have sleepovers and you came over to my house, you'd be scared to death
Yeah, when I
coming
was
over.
younger.
Yeah, when you were really younger, really young. I thought that was funny. But then again, I was scared to like even stay in my own room too.
Really?
Yeah. I had to have like a night light and the TV on and stuff. I still sleep with the TV on to be honest.
I still sleep with a nightlight, so
Yeah.
that's my.
Um
I keep my LED lights on red because
mhm.
it's like the darkest one.
Yeah. I just like sometimes you get those like you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel
Yeah.
like you're being watched type thing.
Mhm.
Usually though I just go right back to bed. I ignore it and I just go right back to sleep.
Mhm.
But that happened a lot when I was a kid. But I think it's just because I was, you know, scared.
Yeah.
of the dark. So,
Thanks for listening to this episode. Don't forget to follow Student Media on TikTok. It's Student Media 1. Anyways, okay. This podcast is produced by Student Media. Student Media is a student organization at the University of Evansville. Student Media produces the Crescent magazine, published online and in print 3 times a semester. Student Media produces several podcasts and utilizes design, photography, video, and sound towards experiential and academic learning in journalistic endeavors and engaging storytelling. Student Media elevates the voice of the student body and connects the campus and the community to important information and points of view. So, thanks for listening.
thanks, guys.